live on YouTube in a second, so I will give you the go ahead. And
I think we're waiting for one more, one of our other staff members. She should be hopping on now.
Live on YouTube in a second, so I will give you the go ahead. And
bum, bum, bum.
Tony, I don't see anybody else in our waiting room yet, so
okay.
You're free to get started whenever you feel, and I will make sure she gets in as soon as we get started.
Sure. She was actually going to be leading us off. That's the
okay.
That's the main thing, is that she was actually going to be the one leading us off.
Got it.
So give us one more second. And as far as for like essence of time and everything, is it okay if we go over, or I know that kind of we're starting a little bit later than we originally had thought.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem as long as we have time to go. So you just feel free to, cruise along at your own speed.
Okay, no problem. In the meantime, that we are waiting. For those of you that haven't seen the title screen already, you can hop on over to slido.com and answer some of our questions right now. And then we will actually be sharing some of those questions as the presentation goes on.
And Taylor Gibbs has just joined us. I made her co-host, and we are all ready to go.
Awesome. All right. So Taylor, let me know when you are all ready, and then I will go ahead and let you take control of the show.
I'm ready.
All right, then. So I let people know about the Slido. So those of you that can still answer in the meantime that Taylor's introducing herself, and Taylor, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, my name is Taylor, and I am 18 years old. I am a first-year college student, and I graduated last year at Bonsall High School. I was very nervous about starting college because I didn't get to finish out my senior year, and the prior years before that, I did not get the best grades. So I was not able to go to a four-year university like I had hoped, and I did not feel as if I were prepared enough for college. But as soon as I started, I was greeted by very understanding professors who took time out of their day to support me and make sure that I was on the right track and that I had extra time if I needed it to complete assignments, because they understood that the online environment was new to all of us and that it was our first year. And honestly, the online environment was new to them as well. So they were just as nervous, and they knew just as much about online learning. They were learning it with us. And so now we're going to go to Slido to see what questions you guys answered. So the first question was, what opportunities are available at a community college? You guys answered Palomar Promise. That is very correct. We will actually get into that later. We do offer a lot of different majors. We do have options for some free tuition, and we have multiple forms of financial aid and extra support for every student that joins Palomar College. We will move on to the second question now. The second question is, what academic programs are you interested in? For me personally, I'm interested in both child development and psychology, so I'm studying both of those right now. They are great programs. I see firefighting and glassblowing. We have both of those programs as well. Firefighting is a very popular one, and we actually have a very good firefighting training program. We do have a lot of computer sciences. And we do have drones now. It's a new program and it's very good. American Sign Language, we do have that as well. And optometry. So now we will be moving on to our presentation. Just 1 second. Sorry about this.
You're all right. Take your time. For those, if you guys who have any questions, feel free to utilize the chat during this time. If you guys have any questions while they are going through the presentation, we'll periodically stop and kind of shoot off the hip. So let us know if you guys have any questions going forward.
Okay, to start off our presentation, we have what opportunities could you go to a community college for? There are actually a lot of opportunities that you could have at a community college. They have associate's degree that you can earn, and you can use that to transfer to a four-year university. Just because you do not initially start in a four-year university does not mean that you cannot still go to one. I actually plan on going to one myself. You can also start taking classes at a community college while you are still in high school. We will go over that more later. And we have a lot of sports programs and arts programs, both performing arts and other kinds of arts like ceramics and all of that. We have great music programs and way more. Why would you choose to go to a community college? There are different reasons that everyone chooses to go to a community college. They offer lots of student support and it is very affordable. You will have affordable higher education and you will be able to transfer to a higher education later on. We have work first preparation so that you never go into a work field or a career that you are not prepared for. And we have lots of different certificates that we offer for proficiency and achievement. You can use those for your career and more. Like for me, I am using the child development certificate, even though I plan on having a career in psychology. Why would you choose Palomar specifically? Palomar is one of the largest community colleges in San Diego. We offer a lot of different majors and certificate programs that aren't offered other places. We have lots of flexible scheduling. We have online school. We have on-campus school, not right now because of COVID, but we will in the future again. There are fast track programs in case you want to go and go through school faster and get your degrees and certificates faster. And we also have multiple forms of financial assistance, financial aid, and we also have the Palomar Promise program, which we will talk about more later on. Palomar offers lots of different guided pathways. We have course maps set up so that you know exactly what class to take and when to take it so that you're never too confused. You can make sure that you get extra support in any of these classes. And you can even take these classes to explore your career options. We have nursing programs and we have a new drones program. We have firefighting programs and police academy and even paramedic. We have performing arts and a STEM program, a great STEM program. We also have music and other programs that are very great. We offer associate's degrees in arts and sciences so that you can go into the career that you want to. We have so many different programs that it would be hard to find a program that you aren't interested in. You can use all of these degrees and certificates to transfer to a 4-year university once you are ready. And from there on, you can go into the career field of your dreams. We have a lot of different career tech too. We have the emergency medical education, which is very popular. It has paramedic training and EMT basics. We have a great public safety program as well, which is very popular. It has fire technology, fire academy, police academy, and the administration of justice if you are interested in any of those. As you can see, we also have a lot of different trade and industry programs and design and manufacturing programs like interior design or construction. If you are interested in any of that, we also have architecture. We are constantly adding new programs as well. As I talked about before, a new certificate that is available for that you can complete in just one semester is the Child Development Teacher. I'm doing that, and it is a great program. We also have the new drone technology, which is very cool. It's thousands of dollars worth of equipment. You go and you can use the drones, and they're available for students. It's great. You can go and you can study film and TV and social media and all of that. You can also study a lot of different languages and other arts. Right now, Palomar is completely online, but we will go back onto campus in the future. We will remain online through the spring semester at least. There are programs that are 100% online. As you can see, American Indian Studies and Business Administration are popular ones. We also have new programs that are going to be 100% online in the next upcoming year or so. And from there, I am going to pass it to Tony, who will continue. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Quiroz. I am the outreach specialist for outreach services at Palomar College. Pretty much what my job is to go out to high schools, community organizations, and talk about Palomar College from all of its different academic programs, financial aid support, student support services. There's a lot of great things about our college that I can talk about. I myself am a product of the community college system. I attended community college myself. If I'm being quite honest, I wasn't the best student in high school. I was kind of a late academic bloomer, if you will. So I took school a little bit more serious once I actually graduated from high school. Again, I was very lucky to graduate. And I went over to my local community college, which was Norco College. And through that community college, I found myself as far as academics and everything. So that was a really great opportunity for me. Academic wise, I actually ended up changing my major 7 times before finally deciding what I wanted to do. I went through chemistry, business, health science, criminology, anthropology, sociology, psychology, until I landed in human development, which is a combination of several of those areas. So for those of you that are kind of concerned about, hey, I'm kind of undecided or undeclared, don't worry, there is some time for you to think about that. Even after all those major changes, I actually still graduated in 4 years. So I started out at community college for my first 2 years, and then eventually I transferred over to Cal State Long Beach, where I finished my bachelor's degree in said human development. So and then I love community college so much that I decided to end up working for one. So now I'm going to talk about a lot of the different opportunities that we offer here. One of the first ones might be something you are already familiar with. It is called concurrent or dual enrollment. It is a program practically in which if you decide to take Palomar College classes as a high school student, anyone in K through 12, you can actually take those classes for free. Now, there are additional fees like a student fee and a health fee, but that is pretty much like around the $20 range. So it's something that's very affordable. You are responsible for your own textbooks unless your school might offer something else in which they might provide you assistance with those textbook fees. But for the most part, this is a great way to get ahead in college, to really get an idea of what it's like to be in there. And you'd be surprised the age of students that take these college classes. If you are under the age of 16, we do require that not only you have your parents and your counselor signature, but also the professor signature of the class that you're taking. And that's just because to just understand that the professor can say yes or no about having a student under the age of 16 in their classroom. Now, if you're 16 or 17 years old, we don't require you to have the professor's signature. You just need your parent, your counselor's signature. Now, it's important that you speak with your counselor and your school about how those kind of count for you before you register for those classes. You just don't want to take a class willy-nilly and then be like, oh, does this count for something later on? You want to make sure you figure out all those details beforehand. Now transferring. A lot of students are very interested in transferring to a four-year school, whether it's a Cal State, UC, private school, or out of state. Palomar College can definitely help you achieve your goal no matter where you're trying to go to. It's just really important that no matter where you decide to go, that you are meeting with your academic counselor each semester to make sure that you're on track. Just because you're interested in chemistry doesn't mean it's the same requirements for every university. So that's why it's really important that you are meeting with college counselors to make sure that you're on the right track. Now, there are two programs specifically that I want to talk about that can really help the transfer process be a little bit more manageable and I think less frustrating, to be honest. So the first program that we have is the ADT program, or Associate's Degree for Transfer. And it's a program in which if you obtain an associate's degree at Palomar College, we will guarantee you admission into one of the CSUs. Now, that's pretty great in my eyes. You know, I actually didn't mean to get an associate's degree when I was first going into community college. I just kind of ended up with one. And so having a program like this really helps out for students that, again, maybe they weren't really, maybe they didn't have the best GPA, but hey, getting an associate's degree can really help you, again, have that guaranteed admission that you might be looking for. Now that one's more focused on the Cal State. This one's a little bit more focused on the UCs. So for the UCs, we have a program called TAG, or Transfer Admission Guarantee, in which it's less degree based, but this is rather more GPA based. And so as you can see, we have it for 6 schools. We have it for Davis, Irvine, Merced, Riverside, Santa Barbara, and Santa Cruz. And the GPAs range anywhere from a 2.7 to a 3.4. And I think it's pretty manageable for a lot of students to be able to achieve these kind of GPA requirements, because remember that as a college student, you know, or as a transfer student, they don't look at your high school anymore. You get kind of a fresh start, which again was great for someone like me who had a very low GPA. And, you know, although I graduated with like a 2.1 in high school, I graduated community college with a 3.7, which was really nice for me because I kind of had the pick of the litter of like, I got pretty much accepted no matter where I went, which was really great. So the fact that you can have a lot of these guarantee programs kind of be your backup schools can be really satisfying. Now, we don't have it for Berkeley, UCLA, and UC San Diego. That doesn't mean you can't apply as a transfer student. You totally can. We just don't have a guarantee program with them, if that makes sense. So you would just apply normally like any other transfer student. And one thing to know about being a transfer student, that again, they don't look at your high school anymore, and you're not required to do the SAT or ACTs again, which again, very motivating for me. Now, there is a program called University Link through UC San Diego, where if your family income is less than $40,000, they do kind of have a guarantee program with that. So if you want to find more information, definitely head on over to their specific page to find out more information. All right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Shawnee, who is going to go ahead and introduce herself. She's great, and talk about student support services.
Hi, thank you, Tony. So I am Shawnee. I'm a 27 years old, current full-time student here at Palomar. I am currently living in Marietta. I graduated from Oceanside High School, in 2011, and this is my first year I'm completing of college, so I'm super excited to be back. While I was going to high school, my first job was actually at Legoland, which was super fun, being able to, just work with people and go to school at the same time. I mainly worked on weekends, which was fine, but I had a little bit of extra spending money throughout the school year, so that was always good. I've been working customer service for about 10 years now, a little bit over 10 years. I did want to go back to school after I graduated, but I didn't get the finances I wanted. So I decided to take a little bit of a break and see exactly what I wanted to do. Even though I did know I had an idea of what I wanted to do after I graduated, I originally wanted to go to the Cordon Bleu School up in Northern California, or even go to the Art Institute down in San Diego or in Pasadena. Just those schools were a little bit out of my price range. So instead I decided to just start working, building my resume, and I did. My resume is awesome now, but I decided it was time to go back to college, especially since I am building my own business right now. Currently I'm majoring in photography, graphic design, business management, art emphasis in glass blowing, as well as chemistry and Japanese. So doing this, it helps me build my business the way I want to, as well as get some of the hobbies I love doing. I love photography. Graphic design has always been something I've been interested in as a kid. And now I'm adding glass blowing, which is super fun. I miss being in the hot shop. Unfortunately, with COVID, I'm not able to be on campus like I would like, but hopefully soon we'll be able to get back on campus. I can go back in the hot shop and enjoy all the amenities that Palomar has to offer, like these support services right here. So here at Palomar, we have a wide variety of services for our students. We have our Career Center, which is awesome. It helps any students, like Taylor was saying, get their career path going so that they know what they need to do in order to graduate in a specific time frame. We have our tutoring centers, which are awesome and are currently online right now. And it's really good because if any students are like me who need constant help or just need help in general with any subjects, the writing center, math center, even our STEM centers are beautiful and are available for students either on Zoom or on Discord, which does help for students that don't have access like they normally would on campus. And we also have our food pantry, which is like a little mini Trader Joe's on campus. They have fresh produce as well as canned goods, and even have just regular health needs such as hygiene products like shampoo, conditioners, even for people who need diapers or feminine products, we also have that available. We did just get a new library that was built a couple years ago. So it is a fantastic new building. I absolutely love it. I wish we had a picture of it to show you guys, but that is something else to look forward to. And we do have our LGBT Pride Center that is always there to help anyone who is feeling a certain way or just needs a supporting hand. They're always there. They're always super friendly. They welcome anyone who wants to join from any backgrounds. Not to mention, we also have our academic counseling and behavioral counseling for any students that need help with anything concerning their academics, or if they just need someone to talk to. They're always there to help and they're super supportive. And then last but not least, of course, we do have our Active Military and Veterans Resource Center that is perfect for anyone who is thinking about joining the military or is currently in the military or has already served. And we do thank you for your service. And for any dependents of anyone who is in the military, that's also a service for them also. And right here is just a little screenshot of what our service page looks like. So this is all the student resources that are available here at Palomar College. We will be pasting a link down in the chat for you guys if you want to check it out and see all the different things Palomar does have to offer. Now, how will you get the most out of your college experience here at Palomar? So we do have a wide variety of clubs available for students. As you can see, we have a Smash Bros club, we have an anime club, we have a drone club, we have a business network. There's so many different options here at Palomar. We don't offer sororities or fraternities here, but I mean, who would want a sorority or fraternity when you have all these clubs? Not to mention, you could also build your own club. If you don't see anything you like here, you could, like I said, build your own, which is super fun for any students who are interested. You only need 3 other people to join you, and then you have a club. Now think about that. If you just started college right now and you have your own club for the whole duration that you're at Palomar, then you have something that is super fun to go back to, which is really, really cool. And we have an awesome performing arts department here at Palomar, from music to orchestra to dance, theater. They are amazing. I've seen a few of their shows in person. They normally have a few during the fall and the spring semesters, but with COVID right now, unfortunately, they haven't been able to do that, but they are still meeting and still performing. And the cool thing about this is you could either do the advanced courses if you've been playing the instruments, or doing theater or choir or whatever the case may be. But we also have beginning courses. So for someone who has never picked up an instrument, has never done theater, has never even sung or anything like that, there actually is beginning courses for anyone who is interested. So if you want to pick up a guitar or learn an instrument, you are more than welcome to do this. And also we do have 22 different types of sports available at Palomar. So that is always something to look forward to for anyone who is an athlete out there. Even though the sports aren't currently being active right now due to COVID, we are still taking recruits. We will be posting a link down there. That way you can actually get in contact with some of the, or, see if you could get in contact with the coaches and go from there. It's actually pretty funny. I had a scholarship to UCSD for their softball, but I did get injured my junior year. So it's been a little bit since I graduated, so my ankle has been healing. I guess you could say pretty well. So I'm thinking about joining the softball team once we go back to campus. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But the cool thing about it is if you aren't a professional in any of these sports, you can actually join as credit. So say that you aren't a swimmer, you never swum in your life, you could actually take a beginner course for swimming instead of doing the swimming as far as competitions or anything. All right, now we're gonna get into the not so fun part of college. It's tuition, but don't worry, it's not that scary. I promise, I'm gonna make it easy for you. So here at Palomar, each of our units costs $46. An average class is about 3 to 5 units, just depending. So it would be equaling about $130 per class, $138 per class, sorry. And then an average student will take about 5 classes per semester. That will equal $690 for that semester. Now, if we take a fall and a spring class, we're looking at $1,380 per year. Now we're going to look at some of our four-year universities just to compare the prices. For the UC system, you're looking at $5,742. UC system, you're looking at $12,570. For Point Loma, a private school, you're looking at $37,600. And for USD, don't be confused with UC San Diego on this, you're looking at $52,120. Now, comparing this to the price at Palomar, you can see its affordability, but don't let this scare you away from wanting to go to a 4-year, just because, if it's your dream to go to a 4-year, definitely go to that 4-year. But also know, when I was looking at the Art Institute and Cordon Bleu, they said if I take my general ed classes at a community college, I could just transfer to that school afterwards. Doing that will actually cut most of my tuition in half, a quarter. It's something. Right now, it was $55,000 and I was looking at it. If I take my general ed classes at Palomar, which I'm currently doing, I'm looking at lowering my tuition by like $20,000, which is a lot when you think about it. So don't be scared about going to a community college or wanting to go to a 4-year college. Look at this as an opportunity to actually help you reduce your debt in the long run. So now going to financial aid. So the first step you would do is fill out your FAFSA or your California Dream Act application, just depending on your status. The applications are currently open now and they are due by March 2nd. So what you would want to do is fill it out before you go on winter break or at the beginning of the year. I would recommend doing it as soon as possible, just because it does take about 6 to 8 weeks for this whole process. And you want to make sure that you get it done beforehand, just so there aren't any delays in your application. You would use your 2019 tax information or your parents' tax information if you haven't been working. You can select up to 10 schools. You can put as many schools as you want, but also think about your secondary schools that you want to go to. If you're thinking about going to a community college, but you actually really want to go to a 4-year college, still put Palomar in there because you never know what's going to happen. After you fill it out, you're going to be getting a student aid report. You're going to check that to make sure that you have everything that you need on there and to see if there's anything else you need to add or anything you're missing. That way that you know what you're going to need to do if you need to do anything. And that way you get a better idea of how much financial aid you'll be receiving. From there, you will be completing the individual applications for the schools that you apply to, and every school has a different process for their applications. So just be sure to do a little bit of research as far as what you're going to need to do to fill out those applications. And like I said, it is very important that you get this done right away. If you wait until, say, February to fill it out, and you have something wrong with your application, you might not be getting your financial aid that you want. So just be sure to fill these out as soon as possible. And now we're just going to go into the different types of financial aid. We have Pell Grants, Cal Grants, and the VA waivers. That is federal and state money that you don't have to pay back, which is really nice for students who are worrying about the financial cost of college. We have loans. This is money that's borrowed, of course, that you have to pay back with interest. Even if you don't complete your education course, you still have to pay that money back. So just let that be a fair warning for anyone who is thinking about getting any loans. We have work study, which is what Taylor and I are currently doing. This is financial aid money that you get by working on campus. So for me and Taylor, we're getting paid right now to work with you guys, and that's totally fine. I like doing this type of work. We also have the California Promise, California College Promise Grant, formerly known as the Board of Governors waiver. This one waives all your unit fees. So instead of paying, say that $13.60, you won't be paying anything for any of your units. And then you also get reduced parking, which is really nice when you think about it. We also have the California Dream Act, which is for AB 540s or Dreamers. So this is the other application you'll be filling out if you are a non-resident. And last but not least, we do have our scholarships. Scholarships is money that you don't need to pay back. For any high school students, I would definitely recommend taking advantage of any scholarships that you see and apply to them, just because this, like I said, is free money that you never have to pay back. If you see an essay or if you see a scholarship that you have to do essays for, just do those essays, because once you get to college, most professors would want you to write between a 5 to 10 page essay. So at least get in the habit of writing. It's only 500 words to 1,000 words for some of these essays. It's pretty easy if you think about it, because now I'm looking back and I'm just saying, I wish I did those essays, because it's not as much writing as I thought it was going to be compared to what it is now that I'm in college. But now I'm actually going to pass it off back to Tony, who's going to talk about Palomar Promise and give you guys a little bit more insight on that, because that is some information that you will definitely love hearing about.
Thank you, Shawnee. So Palomar Promise, if you haven't heard of it already, it's a great program to definitely be a part of. It's a program in which the goal is to provide pre-access to college to students that are eligible to it. Pretty much what it is that if you do all the proper applications and everything, we will provide you free tuition for your first 2 years attending Palomar College, which is really great for the fact that in addition to that, it's not income based. So I know a lot of people typically are worried, like, well, our parents make too much, or we're right above the thresholds, or don't really understand too much of like different income balances and everything. But it's not income based. So whether your family makes $0 or they make $1 trillion, as long as you do all the proper applications that we require for it, we will give you 2 years of tuition for free, which I think is incredible. So there are 3 main applications that you want to focus in on. If there is any point of the presentation that I would encourage you to screenshot, it would probably be this one, to be honest. All 3 applications that you need in order to qualify for the free 2 years of tuition are now live. They've been live actually since October. Pretty much what we've been telling students, it is on a first come, first serve basis. Please try to get everything done by March 2nd. Even better, try to get things done before you go on winter break. Definitely use your counselors or other people as your resources to help you out with any issues that you may be having. But I'm going to quickly go over the 3 applications that you're going to need. The first one is going to be the Palomar College application. It is an application in which it is free. It is a 100% guarantee. So you apply, you get into Palomar College, and you are applying now for fall 2021. So similar how you apply to Cal State and UC's 1 year in advance, it's the same thing. You're applying now for fall 2021. Now, we don't require the SAT or ACTs. If you've done them, great. If you haven't done them, don't worry. We just pretty much use those test scores, if you do use them, to place you in English and math, but we have other multiple measures that we use for that as well. The second application that you have to do is the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application. And pretty much that is the main source of financial aid that you're going to be doing for that app. You're going to be filling out in order to receive that. So if you are a non-resident or undocumented students or AB 540 students, definitely do the DREAM Act application. That's pretty much how you're going to be receiving financial aid. And again, do those. Don't wait till the last minute to do those specific applications, because I will be honest, these do take a little bit longer because they require tax information and acquiring very personal information with you, your parents or guardian. So you don't want to wait to the last minute to do all of this. Lastly, you have to do the Promise application. It is the easiest application that you'll ever do in your life. Literally takes a few seconds to do. However, you only gain access to the Palomar Promise application once you've already applied to Palomar College, received your student ID, and able to log into your Palomar portal. So again, you also don't want to wait to the last minute, because it does take about 1 to 2 business days for you to just receive your student ID. Now, maybe you were a concurrent or dual enrollment student who's already applied in the past, and you're like, well, Tony, I already have a student ID. What do I do then? You do have to go back and apply for fall 2021, but you should have actual access now to log into your My Palomar to be able to apply for Palomar Promise. It's going to be the same student ID. You're not going to get a new one or anything like that. It is open to all first-time college students. You do need to have completed your high school diploma or GED. We don't mind too much about the grades about them, as long as you plan to complete it. And you have to be a California resident. There's a lot of support that involves with it. Priority registration, which if you've never heard of, is like the golden ticket in like college, meaning that you get to be some of the first people in the college to be able to register for classes. So especially if you have like a very specific schedule and everything, it really comes in handy for figuring out what classes you need to take and what order you want them in. You also get academic counseling. In order to maintain eligibility, you do have to have a minimum of 12 units. You can do more, but you can't do any less than that, unless you fall under the Disabilities Resource Center. So for students that have IEPs or 504 plans, we encourage you to apply through the Disabilities Resource Center. And so that way, actually, instead of 12 units, the requirement is that actually brings it down to 9 units. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're kind of applying for Palomar Promise as well. You have to maintain a 2.0 GPA. That's a C average, and we're obviously not asking for like straight A's or anything like that. But remember, your GPA does start over from scratch. So if you get all C's and 1 D your very first semester, you're already putting yourself at risk of potentially losing your Palomar Promise eligibility. So be cautious about that. Now, pretty much where you should be at in the stages of applying to Palomar College and everything, pretty much you should be focusing on step 1, doing those applications that I just talked about and making sure you fill them out properly, and making sure that you're doing things and you're not waiting till the last minute to do it. If you decide at a later point, hey, I actually don't want to do Palomar Promise, I'm actually going to go somewhere else, that's totally fine. Just by doing Palomar Promise and applying to our college, we're not locking you out of applying to other schools. This is a great safety net, whether we're your plan A or plan Z. It's just great to have. We don't know how much COVID is going to be changing within the next fall semester. So it is possible that things could change. Some people wanted to go straight into 4-year schools, but what ended up happening is like, well, I don't want to be living in Escondido if my school's all the way in Long Beach, if I'm just going to be experiencing that and be paying like the same price. So things can change. And even for students who are like unsure, like, I don't know if I want to go to college yet, just do it anyway. What's the worst case to happen is that we just give the money to somebody else. But at least you have that safety net for yourself to say like, hey, at least if I do decide to go, I have my 2 years covered. Okay, so do it. So tonight we actually have a series of presentations. We actually have back to back to back a financial aid presentation starting at 5 o'clock today. We have a virtual college tour happening at 6 p.m. tonight, and we have a virtual information session. So if you want a little bit more in depth of what we've talked about tonight, we definitely go over that again. Maybe you have a family member that is really interested, or you have a friend that couldn't make this one but are interested in learning more about Palomar College, definitely feel free to attend these. Screenshot that RSVP link right there. You do have to RSVP for the virtual tours and the virtual information session, but you don't have to RSVP for the financial aid presentation. And let me just say that the financial aid presentation is more information based. It's not like a workshop or anything. And these are all done in English. So I do want to thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to our presentation. We definitely want to provide you with some resources for yourself, and or in the event that you have any questions after today, whether it's 5 minutes from now, 5 months from now, please don't hesitate to contact us and check out our webpage. We actually offer a series of virtual offerings from, again, virtual campus tours. We even offer one-on-one Zoom chats. So if you're like stuck, or you're like, hey, I want a little bit more information about Promise, you can actually schedule those with us. And they're anywhere from like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. If they need to go longer, don't worry about that. But for the most part, that's our contact information. We have our virtual toolbox, which is pretty much filled to the brim with deadlines, links, everything that we've talked about in this presentation today, you're going to find in our virtual toolbox. So definitely it is a great way to kind of stay in touch with us, but also again, knowing that where our resources stand and everything. So and that's pretty much it. We do like to open up the end for any Q&A that we have. So if any of you have any questions or anything about myself or about Shawnee or Taylor and their student experience, definitely now is the time to ask. So I'll just stop talking now and just kind of open it up for Q&A.
Feel free to unmute your mics, guys.
I have a question for Palomar Promise, which is, if you already started your first year, can you apply for Palomar Promise for like maybe your second or third year?
Like, are you currently like already, like, did you already graduate from high school and like are attending Palomar College?
No, I haven't. But I do have a friend who already started their first year and didn't know about Palomar Promise and wanted to know if they could even apply even though they're already in their first year.
That's a good question. It is only for first-time college students, so that's why it's really important for students to be aware of like the kind of eligibility requirements. But yeah, once you start taking classes at any college, including ours, you kind of lock yourself out of that ability to qualify for Palomar Promise. I still encourage them to apply for financial aid because it is still possible that they could receive something through FAFSA or California Dream Act, depending on their status. But definitely have them at least apply for financial aid through FAFSA.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for the question.
Anybody else have a question for our Palomar representatives? Well, I think you guys are doing a great job, and thank you guys for all the information. Unless there's any last minute questions that want to jump in, I think we will end our session for today. So thank you, Tony, Shanti, and Taylor. We really appreciate all the information that you guys shared with our students today. So we will be sure to pump out your contact information in case anybody wants to contact you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your counselors, and you can send them our way. We have no problem with it.
So, but yeah, other than that, thank you guys for joining us today. And for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and cut it off right here. So thank you guys, and everybody Have a wonderful day and happy holidays.
Yep. Happy
Take
holidays.
care.
Super
You got it.
informative. Super informative. Thank